Hi guys, hope you're well. Well, this is part 2 of a fantastic story of Jason Hall. Hopefully you will have seen part 1 where Jason at the age of 19 went over to America and sparred with the great Floyd Mayweather and other boxing greats for over 5 years. We pick up the story after Jason having been there for some years, only having 5 fights in America, and he gets an offer to come back to England to fight. So he decides to come back, and really this is where the downfall of Jason started to happen, which ended up spiraling out of control, trying to commit suicide 5 times. This story is told with fun, it's told with humour, and Jason is still there, still on his feet and still fighting. Here he is, the legendary Jason Hall.
I'm in the gym every day. Steve Forbes, Justin Duco, Stevie Johnston, Frankie Randall, Zab Judah, Shane Mosley. Who else is there? Costa Zoo. What's his name? Oh, the Puerto Rican fellow, Daniel Santos. He was like middleweight. What? I was even in the ring with him at one point. That was, I had to have it, but that was hard. That was hard. And then I'm working it all out, and I'm not in any of these undercards. And then I get a phone call, Ernie Fossey, Frank Warren. So I go back and have a listen. Yeah, let's go back and have a listen. I want to see me little girl though now, because she's going to be what, 5? Mm-hmm. She's going to be 5. She was 6 months when I left. So I'm going to go back to London. I'm going to have a listen. And the deal was, we can get you a British title shot in a year. I've got a little cuts loss on my record, 4-1. That's nothing. Cut's a cut. Don't mean nothing. I thought, I won't let that get in the way. I come back, sign the contract, and it ain't with Frank Warren. It says Chris Sanikar co-managing me with Frank Warren. I'm like, oh, who's all these extras? Do you know what I mean? I want manager, promoter, television, or I'm going back to Vegas. So I tore it up. Not having that. The only thing is, I called Vegas back. I went back to Vegas, because I was only back for 3 weeks. I went back to Vegas, and I went on one more training camp. And this time it was with Kennedy McKinney, before he fought a guy called, he'll come to me, Espinoza, Louis Espinoza. I went back there, and that was 6 weeks. I thought, you know what, I'll go back there, have 6 weeks there in Big Bear, get $1,200, get a nice little bit of Big Bear again, and I probably will come back. Because you know why I'm going to come back? Not because of the boxing, because I've seen my little daughter. Because I hadn't seen her for 4 years. And I've seen her now, and she's little. Like, she's grown up little. So I thought, that's why I'm coming back. And I've seen a few people, and my family, and my home, and all that. And I've seen England. I thought, I'll come back. Don't worry about that silly, muggy contract. I'll do it properly. I went to Charlie Magri's shop in Bethnal Green. So I went in, and he asked me what I'm doing and all that. He said, bloody hell, and he was talking about my amateur days. And he said, who's managing you now then? He said, you've been in America. I said, I know. I said, well, I came back initially. I was going to sign with Frank Warren. I said, but it was a moody contract. It had someone else's name on it. He said, well, I'm managing fighters now. He says, I've got a bit of television coming up, BBC, Grandstand. He said, I'm working with Jess Harding. I said, oh, all right then, yeah. I said, well, see what, ask him, tell him I'm here, and we'll have a sort out, see what he can do for me. So, same thing. You'd have a few fights. Then it was like, hold on, can you sell a ticket? I said, oh, let's get one thing straight here. I've been in the best place in the world, the hardest place in the world, with the best fighters in the world. And I'm coming back here and I've got to sell a ticket. What if I had no friends? What if I was an orphan who could fight? What if I was a homeless person who has no social skills whatsoever, and I can't talk, but I can fucking fight? Yeah, I can't go on the show. That's all muggy. But I need a manager. I need a fight. I need to keep going. I ain't going back to Vegas. And before coming back to Vegas, I was told by Floyd, by Roger, by Stevie Forbes, all of them, all them 8, 9 geezers that I've all spied, all said the same thing. The worst thing you can do, England, is go back to England. They will decline you. You'll go off. You'll go stale. Do you know what I mean? You'll be out of date in a couple of months. Do you know what I mean? But go back if there's a title fight for you, and you will win it in seconds. But I come back, and I had 5 fights with Charlie Magri, and I won them 5. But the 5th one, I was fighting a boy, a journeyman called Arv Mittu. He weren't even my weight. I don't know what he was, light middle or well or something. But he's put his elbow out in the second round, I mean, listen, I was on the way to stopping him. He's put his elbow out and he's cut my eye. That got stopped. I thought, for fuck's sake. I thought, can this be reversed? Because, you know, they reverse things like that. If you are ahead and, you know, it's clear that you are supposed to, like, do a number on this fella, that should go to the boxing board and they should say, listen, call that a no contest. I'll be happy with that. But don't call it a loss. So really, that's 2 losses, but 2 not losses. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, I've got to get away from this Jess Harding and Frank, and then Charlie Magri. So I went over to Eugene Maloney and Johnny Eames. Johnny Eames remembers me from beating the West Ham boys in the NABCs and the schools and all that. And he knew how good I was. He said to Eugene, yeah, sign him straight away. So Eugene used his brother Frank as my manager. He was like a silent manager, just had him on paper. But it was Eugene was going to do all the matchmaking and all the questioned answers, so to speak. So I had 2 fights with Eugene and Frank. And after them 2 fights, they said, listen, we ain't going to muck you about like anyone else. We say what we mean what we say, and what we say we're going to do. We're going to get you a title shot. They said, who would you like to fight? What belt would you want to fight for? I said, I'd like to fight for the world title. I said, well, that ain't going to happen. They say, you can even fight for the British against Steve Murray, or you can fight for the WBO Inter against Bradley Price. I went, oh, very funny. They're both Frank Warren fighters. But that matter, that's all right. That's all right. Put whoever you want in front of me. Now, I'd been sparring with Steve Murray in the gym. You remember this, Steve, didn't you? I'd been sparring with Steve when I come back from America while I was with Charlie Magri, because Charlie Magri didn't have no sparring people for me.
Right.
So he used to get Colin Dunn, Dean Piffy. Still I needed better. I said, no, let me go over to Peacock and spar Steve Murray. Me and Steve Murray were good friends from the amateurs. He was a West Ham boy, all right? And obviously I was a West London boy. And I went over to Peacock and I was sparring Steve 3 or 4 days a week. And we was having a good spar. You know what I'm going to say. I was doing what I had to do, and it was a nice spar. And he was good, he was strong and all that, but it was a nice spar. Frank Warren walks in the gym one day and says, stop these 2 sparring, because no sooner or later they are going to fight for this title. So that was it. Steve went, see you later, Jason, all the best. I'll see you soon, all the best. So I went out the gym, and that was before the Eugene Maloney thing. So I'm with Eugene Maloney now after 2 fights, Elephant and Castle, right? And then he said, right, I tell you what, let's have Bradley Price. I like him. He looks dangerous. Bradley Price was 10 fights, 10 wins, 10 knockouts, all in like 2 rounds, 3 rounds. He was wild, he was cocky, he was arrogant. I said, him, definitely want him, for definite, 100%. Frank Warren fight, Frank Warren show, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Wales. He's Welsh. He's trained by Joe Calzacchi's dad. Calzacchi's the main event, I'm co-main event. I said, bring it on, let's have it. Lovely, I can't wait, this is it, it's the moment I've been waiting for. I'm going to win this belt now, and I'm going to be top 10. I'm going to get in the top 10 now for the main belt. You can only see for yourself. Bradley knows this as well, didn't you, Bradley? You remember? I had control of that fight. It was a hard fight at the beginning. It was going to come to an end for him, though, eventually. And it came to an end for him in the 7th round. He was out. He was gone. And I finished it in the 8th. The referee jumped in, Brendan, and pulled me off of him while he was out on his feet, as if he was going to stop the fight. Yeah. I went to walk away to go to the neutral corner. The referee then got his gloves off Bradley Price. I don't know what he done that for, because he didn't go down. He went on the bottom rope. And he's let the fight go back on. Ian Dark and Glenn McCrory, all the commentary team, all of it, people were going, what on earth is going on? Why has that referee jumped in and now he's letting it hold on to me? He held on to me like an octopus for the rest of the fight. Then I had him again in the 9th. Then I had him again in the 12th. I've won that fight. I've won that title.
By the sound of it, yeah.
It is absolutely my title. scorecards, 115, 114, all that messing about. Every card was a point in favour of him.
Wow.
And it was all coming back to me now, the past, deja vu, the second place, the silver medals, the nearly man, no, not again. And then on the rebound of that, do you know what they offered me? Steve Murray for the British title eliminator. I said, I've come off of a 12-round robbery like that.
Yeah.
And you want me to do that again with another home fighter?
Yeah.
Fuck it, bring it on. We go,
No one can say you weren't game, Jason, could they? No one can say
Here
that
we
you weren't.
go.
He was ready
Yeah.
to go. Every
Yeah.
time we go, fuck it, I'll try
I'll have a
again.
go. Were you really pissed off at this
oh,
point?
fucking, I was just in despair. So now my
Get it off
record.
your chest,
So now my
Jason.
record stands: 2 cut losses and a robbery for the title. Right, let's get Steve Murray out of the way. You remember I wanted to get Alan Ball out of the way? Remember I wanted to get that one out of the way, this one, that one, and all the rest of them? Let's get Steve Murray out of the way. They made the fight twice. We had full camps, preparations. Both times. Remember this, Steve? You remember this one and all, didn't you? We didn't get this all out, let everyone know now what boxers are boxers and what boxers ain't boxers. He broke his nose, pulled out the fight, rescheduled. Then he done his finger, pulled out the fight, rescheduled. Fuck this. I had the idea of a lifetime, brainwave. I've come back from Vegas and it's a case of, they told me so, and they're right.
Yeah.
I'm going back home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm going back to Las Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
I went back to Vegas. And I got to Vegas and it was winter. So it was hard to make the weight. I put a few pound on, had a few buffets. Me and Floyd used to go for a buffet at the Bellagio every Sunday at 6 o'clock. Seafood buffet, $30. That was our night out. That was a blowout. The blowout at the Bellagio for $30. Seafood buffet, best in the world. Crabs, claws, lobster tails thrown up there like corn on the cob. It was nothing, like it's glorious. I'm over there. I get a phone call from Eugene Maloney. Steve Murray is ready to go right now. The fight with you and him can be made, but it's going to be in 13 days. I said, are you winding me up? We have 2 6-week training camps, and he pulls out with injuries both times. So what about this one then? Where's my training camp? He's been in the gym, he's ready, he's ripe. 13 days, he said, what are you weighing? I said, I'm 11 stone. He said, you got to get down to 9'9".
Fucking hell.
In 13 days.
Wow.
It's going to take a day travelling. Then you don't train the day before the fight. And then you've got to really be tapered down the day before the weigh-in. So take 3 from... So I've got 10 days. I've got 10 days to get ready for another 12-round fight. The only positive about this fight was it was at Wembley. Right on my doorstep. And I know...
I like the way you find
and
the
I know,
positive,
and I know
though.
Steve. So I thought, it's like a Rocky story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull it off again.
Yeah.
Not again, because there ain't been no agains yet. I'm going to pull it off. This is going to be the one. So I came back from Vegas, 11 stone. I got that weight off. I got all the weight off. And for the last 4 or 5 days, I was on ice cubes and bananas. Ice cubes for liquid, bananas for energy, little tiny squares of chicken for protein, no sugar. No sleep because I was too thirsty. So when you're thirsty and you're dry, you can't sleep. So I got no sleep either. So I'm not even a person. I'm just like
A shell.
I'm a shell. I'm a hologram. But I can pull it off. So it's a hologram. Kid London, the hologram, is going to fight at Wembley now on the co-main event with Ricky Hatton. Oh, this is now the depression's kicking in. I'm going to fight on the co-main event. I've come back from Vegas to rebuild my career.
Yeah.
After tasting the fucking broken promises in England. We all know who's responsible. go and have the fight. I weigh in. Nice, lovely. I made the weight, nice. Steve shook my hands. Right, good luck, Jace. Nice, we get on. Nice, get on. That first bell went. I had no strength to even. I had no strength to even throw a jab. I tried warming up in the dressing room, and I couldn't even sweat because there was no water in my body. And do you know what? He hit me with everything. I won't go over. And I was giving it back to him. Have a look at it in the fourth round. He was catching me with so many left hooks. He cracked my eye socket. And this lump come out the side of my head. But in the fourth round, I've caught him with a peach of a right hand, left hook and another right hand, and I've stopped him in his tracks. Johnny Eames and Alan Smith have jumped up on the corner of the ring and told the referee to stop the fight because of my eye.
Wow.
Fuck the eye.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered about the
You're
eye.
not bothered now.
I need to get my career on its feet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they thinking of my eye or my career?
Yeah.
Because I'm not thinking of my eye. You always have to go with what the boxer's thinking. That's what I think. Because it's me that's in there, not them. So the fight gets stopped. I've lost. So it's 2 cut losses, 1 robbery, and a fight where I was just a fucking hologram.
Hologram anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Done well
Anyway.
for a hologram, done well.
A London hologram. So then I'm back on the shelf about, I don't know, 8 months later.
Are you bitter at this stage?
Yeah.
I bet you got the ump now, John.
I'll win the next. I'll win the
Fucking
next one, and the next one, and then I walked in the gym one day, and Eugene and Frank were both in there, and they were talking to Johnny Eames. Remember all of this? All of you remember it? I tell you, listen. I was real, and they messed it about, fucked it up. I walked in the gym now after all what I've been through, and they've offered me Nigel Wright for the English title up in Scotland on a Frank Warren show on the undercard of Scott Harrison and Manuel Medina. I'd been up there sparring Scott Harrison prior to this 4 weeks. This Nigel Wright is like he knew everything about me. I've been sparring. He's up there with Nigel Wright as well. I was robbed. I beat Nigel Wright. Nigel Wright knows it all. So now that's 2 cut losses, a robbery for the WBO title, a hologram fight, and then another robbery to finish it off. Do you know what I mean?
There's definitely a pattern forming with
There
old
is.
Frank Warren's management.
Yeah. And then I got a new fight after that. Not fighting, depression, and everything.
Did you think at that point, before we get to, did you think, oh, I'm going to go back to America? I should never have left America.
When I took that phone call, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was living with the 2 Italians. And they come and got me out of bed. They know, we always knew, if it was a phone call at 3 or 4 in the morning, it's England, because of the timekeeping. And it would mean it ain't family, because family would always respect that we have a time difference. So it's never going to be a family member. It's going to be someone who's got no respect. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be someone who calls you that time, does not care. They have no respect. So he would call me 4 in the morning. Yeah, do you want to come back in 13 days and fight Steve Murray? Just after you got robbed for the world title, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and having to drop over a
I should have listened to Floyd Mayweather. I should have listened to Roger Mayweather. I should have listened to Stevie Forbes, Zab Judah. I should have listened to all of them. Because, do you know what? No matter what people say about them, they steered my career with me at the beginning. I couldn't have done it on my own. All I had was my hands and my heart and my balls. They had my back.
Well, they could see you had all them qualities.
Do you know what I mean?
And were trying to guide you, really, weren't they, Jason?
Yeah.
You was a bit too hot-headed, probably, a bit too wanting it too much.
But to tell me not to go back to England until I was offered a title fight.
Yeah.
They meant, like, go back, get off the plane, be ready, and fight the reigning champion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, don't go
And
back.
they would have orchestrated that from
Don't go
now.
back and sign a contract to restart your career when you've already started over here.
Your career's already
So I've
going.
started a career in Vegas. Obviously, it's like I've had 2 or 3 careers.
Yeah.
I've had a career in Vegas, and I'm going to come back here, sign a contract, and be built up again. You're supposed to come off that plane from Vegas
and go straight
and headline straight away.
Yeah.
I come back from Vegas and I was on undercards.
Had you have stayed with them boys in Vegas, that might have happened, mightn't it? They might have steered you. They would have made the connections from Vegas and gone, look, we're only letting him go over to fight in the title.
I'd have had the 3 letters around my waist straight away.
Definitely,
but you know that. I would have had the W's round my waist.
Yeah, I mean, Floyd's proved it, and he's a proper success, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? So maybe a bit of advice that he was giving you.
Well, he's done
could have been the downfall.
Well, he's done quite well. Have you heard? I think
he's
he's got a few quid now.
He pulled it off a little bit. Yeah, maybe like let him tell you a bit.
They paid him a bit more than me, I think.
So you went downhill.
I went into depression. I went into depression. I couldn't bear to live anymore.
Really?
I couldn't self-medicate.
Well, how did it manifest?
I wasn't one to turn to drink and drugs until later on. I was just so down. I was so down. I was like, what on earth can I do with my life now? And every time I attempted to train people, I found resolution. I was like, I like that. Because it reminded me of myself again, doing what I like doing.
But I'm sorry, but how old were you at that point? So, I mean, you were
I was 32.
32. So could you have continued fighting?
I could have continued fighting, but then, do you know what? I had a run-in with the law. I had a bit of trouble on a Sunday morning outside Selfridges. And it was an unprovoked situation. I won't go into detail. It was an unprovoked situation where I had to inflict my own justice on a liberty taker, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? For people that are really polite out there and, you know, not that sort of headed, that's how I'm going to say it.
In other words, you've clumped someone who pissed you off.
I've hurt someone who tried to hurt me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I hurt them first.
Didn't get into too much speaking, Jason.
And I got into trouble for that, and then I went.
Funny about that.
Yeah, I went to court.
Is that because like the boxers fists are like
professional weapons?
Yeah.
Professional hands, they call them, Brendan and Liam. So I went to court, and then they reminded me, and then I went on trial, and I went not guilty. I got guilty, and I got 3.5 years.
Oh, did you?
And now it's definitely final. Now in the coffin. Oh, not yet though. No more boxing. So I thought, well, I'll do the time, get fit. Maybe when I come out, this could be.
And did that help you focus in jail, getting fit? Like,
oh yeah, had to.
It's a good place to get fit.
In prison, I didn't want to be there to be on holiday or make friends. I weren't in there to do anything but only reflect and repair. Reflect, repair, rebuild. And let's see if we can get this world championship one day. Do you know what I mean?
It's wicked that you still had that belief.
And I came out and I asked.
Oh, can I just bring you back though? What was it like in prison? Where did you go?
I went to High Down first, and that was all right. I got on with people. There was a few people in there, a few characters, a few people that I knew from boxing. There was a few boys from Repton.
Prison to you was just somewhere where you had and trained,
wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, all I was concerned
about.
A
training camp, really.
All I was concerned about was getting in the gym.
Yeah.
I knew they had a gym there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They got a gym there.
Yeah.
And then I knew you could have a job, and I thought, you know what, a job. I've got to have a job. I've never worked in my life. Isn't that funny? I've all my life, no school, no job, boxing, silver medals, runner-ups, Vegas, Floyd, hologram fights for the British title, prison. Now I'm going to have a job, and I'm working in a kitchen. I thought I'll get a job in the kitchen because maybe I can feed myself up a little bit.
Get a little bit.
Until they tell you you're not allowed to eat, or you get nicked in there. They nick you, can't eat the food. So what I used to do is sometimes I used to slip a little bit of garlic into my pocket and take that back to my cell. So I thought if I have a bit of nice garlic every day, help me for my training. Garlic puts oxygen in your blood. So when you're in confined space and you ain't got much oxygen and you're training like I am, can you imagine me training in that fucking 6x4, whatever they call it? I need as much garlic as possible because the window only opens that much. So I'm all garlicked up, I'm burpees up, and squats, thrusts, everything and all that. And when I got moved from Highdown, went to Wandsworth, got a trial out of the way, got guilty. They shipped me out after a couple of weeks, went to Isle of Wight, and I was so fit. I was so fit. I think I was even Vegas fit. I know I was Vegas fit.
You will be in prison because that's all you've got to focus on.
It was Vegas fit, and you know why it was Vegas fit, Brendan and Liam? It was Vegas fit because I was on my own. Prison fit because I was on my own.
Yeah.
Because that's all I wanted to do. That's all I had to do, and it's a way of breaking out.
You didn't have to share cell.
No,
you
no,
right, yeah.
no, I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want that anyway.
No, you didn't want that.
Yeah,
They didn't want his professional hands wandering.
So what happened was, I come out there early on a tag, and I spoke to a few people, and I thought, what am I going to do about this boxing? And you know what, I didn't really have any leg up, so to speak. I had no pull. Where's it all gone? Where's all the clout gone? Where's all the pull gone? Where's it gone? How can I be this good and not have a contact? No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive over to Jimmy McDonald's gym in Essex, Buckhurst Hill, because he's over there training my old mate from Dow Youth, James DeGale. And I'm going to tell Jimmy, I'm out of nick now.
So how long did you do in the nick? 18 months?
I've done 20 months.
20 months, yeah.
And thanks for listening, Brendan.
No,
thanks
I'm
very much.
enjoying it.
Thanks for listening, Liam. Yeah. Much appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, he said, well, what you got to do, you got to get your licence back first, though. He goes, we want to train you. He said, and now Jim McDonald's with Eddie Hearn. And it can be all set up now. This can be my new outfit. Jimmy McDonald, Terry Stewart, Eddie Hearn.
And what, you 33,
And do you know the man on the leg in my first fight we said earlier, Mr. Ben, Conor Ben? He's old now. He's old up, he's grown up, and he's turned pro, and he's welterweight. And I'm going to come back to welterweight. It's a funny story.
And how old are you now?
I'm going to, what would I be now, 40?
40, right?
No, well, this was 2017.
So it's 8 years ago.
39.
Fuck me, that's a comeback.
Yeah.
That is.
So I'm 39. Conor Ben's on me leg on me first shorts 20 odd years ago. I've been through the fucking.
You have done it.
I've done
it.
I've been through the laundrette,
Yeah.
But I still got the golden hands. Do you know what I mean?
Still think you could do it?
I still know I can do it.
The heart's still there.
Yeah.
For it. Yeah.
So Jimmy McDonald says, right, we're going to try and get your licence back. And I went up in front of the board twice, and they wanted to talk about my character. They wanted to talk about the nature of the offence. They wanted to talk about now inactivity. They wanted to talk about age. Oh, whoa, age. I said, we put numbers on things. Numbers don't put things on us. Do you know what I mean? Age is just but a number. Do you know what I mean? I might be that age. I ain't got miles on my clock. Do you know what I mean? I've got loads of tragedy.
You've lived a fit, healthy life.
I've got plenty of tragedy, mental. But don't worry about that. That's even more reason to give me my bloody licence back.
Yeah.
Like you see, I'm still on the project. So what happens is, I go in front and they said, right, give him another 6 months. Give him another 6 months. They want to see if I'm staying out of trouble. Do they think I'm a prolific?
Yeah. Like
trouble?
you've had one offence. Yeah.
See if he's prolific. Keep an eye on him. So 6 months goes by. And what they do is they write to your probation of your borough to say, has he been arrested? Can you do any checks to see has he had his collar felt for anything? I'm not a criminal. They're the criminals who put my career in fucking jeopardy. Do you know what I mean, Brendan Liam?
Yeah.
So anyway, what happens is, it's coming up in it, my next hearing at the board. I'm not fit. I'm so fit, I'm Vegas fit. I'm more than Vegas fit, I'm ready. And Conor Ben's on my radar, mate. I'm telling you the truth. God's on this story. Conor, you love this one, mate. And you know what I mean? Nigel used to take his goddaughter to the same school as my little sister, Sacred Heart in Harrow. You remember that one, Nigel? Anyway, so we all know who's who and what's what. What happens is, I go up in front of the board. I'm nice and sharp and trim and everything. I sat in front of Mick Hollier is the one who's responsible for this. And he opened his book and he went like that. He went, I'm funny. I'm not being funny. He said, there's 3 reasons. 3 reasons. Why do you have to have 3 reasons to say no? Because you only need one, because if you've got one, you don't need the other two.
Yeah.
So
They were just making sure they had one, because one of them might fall apart. They was having another two there just in case.
So they're really trying to get me out of the picture. Yeah. So the first reason was nature of the offence. Second reason was inactivity, and the third reason was I was too old. So that was it. So then I thought I'd take up wrestling. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. I can believe it.
Yeah.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I know you ain't giving up, Chase, after that. You still ain't giving up.
Career's over.
Well, what would you like to say to Mick should he watch this particular...
Mick Collier, you're responsible for what happened to me after you refused to give me my boxing licence back. You ain't my mate. You're no good in boxing. People like you have ruined people's lives. You might not know it, but I think you do. I know you do. Because how could you not know it when you know how good I was and how special I was as a fighter and what I'd been through on my journey and what I'd sacrificed for my family, for my little girl, for me, for the people that supported me. You never let me jump that last hurdle after all I went through. But it don't matter, because I'm all right and I'm better than you. So what we're going to...
Jason, well done.
What we're going to do now, we're just going to carry on.
Yeah, listen, I'm
now,
fucking loving listening to you.
I'm not a professional boxer anymore. I'm a retired professional boxer. I'll never say X. I don't like the way.
How old are you now, Jason?
I'm in my mid-40s now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, something like 46, 47.
So could you
Still
go back into something else?
I don't even know when my birthday is sometimes. Yeah.
Could you go into something like unlicensed?
Well, I like training people.
Yeah.
I love training people, and it's only up until about 2 years. Thanks a lot, Brendan. Thanks
enjoy
a
it.
lot. I really
Enjoy it.
got this off my chest.
Good, yeah.
It's only the last couple of years, because before, when I went into the boxing when I wouldn't try to take people on pads, it upset me. It reminded me always of when I put these things on for my first pro fight.
Okay.
And, you know, they gave me my gloves for my first fight, and they wouldn't do that. They don't do that in boxing. They don't let shows. You don't go home with your gloves. You know what I mean?
It's a weird thing there.
It's funny. It's funny. This is what I mean. And these were special, but I couldn't take people on the pads because I was too upset. I was dwelling on unfinished business.
Yeah, the pain you was going.
If I had have gone out there for that WBO interbelt where I got robbed and got a beating, I wouldn't be half as ill as what I am now.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as ill now?
No. I don't see myself as ill. I see myself as coping.
Okay.
And I'll always cope because I'm a fighter.
What you were saying there, Jace, you wouldn't have felt as bad because the way you lost, you know you could have won it.
Yeah.
If you'd have got a good beating, then you'd have gone, fuck it, I weren't good enough.
Someone took the shirt off my back.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? But to lose in the way you did.
Bradley Price, you remember this Bradley Price? You so know you do, and I know. When we shook hands afterwards and everything, he came to my dressing room. The Welsh crowd in Cardiff were up on their feet, clapping hands for me. Everyone was supporting me. The cheers, the cheers and the tears. That's all it was. Cheers and tears. People could not believe it. My ex-girlfriend, she had to climb over the railings. The security were lifting her over the railings. My little girl, my mum, everyone was there. Bradley Price came to the dressing room. They were stitching this eye up in the dressing room. It was so bad, 17 stitches. It was so badly gashed. They had to do surgery in the kitchen. They had to do surgery in the dressing room. The man wanted to stitch it up in the dressing room. I said, no, I need to go to hospital to have this done, otherwise I'm going to have a moody looking eye. And it could affect me later on for my vision.
So that's still the scar that you've got to...
Yeah, 17 stitches, went right across there. And what it was an extension. And do you remember when I told you about the fight with Arv Mittu when I was with Charlie Magri?
Yeah.
And he stuck his elbow out?
Yeah.
That was a continuation of that. That's why it's 17 stitches, because the Arv Mittu one was only 4 stitches. So that one there was 13 stitches. But that one reopened, so there's another 4 plus 13 is 17. 17 stitches. They'd done it in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was sitting on my lap crying, saying, get off him, take him to hospital, take him to hospital. He wouldn't take me to hospital. And then the door knocked, and it was Joe Calzaghe. No, sorry, it was Enzo Calzaghe and Bradley Price came in with the belt and said, congratulations on a great fight. You were both winners, is what Enzo said. You were both winners. And Bradley Price offered me the belt. He said, you can have that belt if you want it. He said, But that's easy for Bradley to say that because he go and get another one.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's won it.
Yeah.
But what he wants to do, he wants to give that to me as consolation.
Yeah.
But how could I wear that belt?
Yeah.
Knowing it wasn't written down and announced.
Yeah.
I'd know in my heart it's mine.
Yeah.
I say, that is mine.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to touch it. I want it to be given to me.
It's a powerful
the right
thing
way.
for him to do, though.
Very nice. And thank you very much for that, Bradley. He was going to give me that belt, but you know what? Yeah. And then Galvin turned around and said, all he wants is a rematch. And Bradley went, no way. Yeah.
Could you, or is it too beneath you to go into the unlicensed, like with Noel and people like that, or the Mortlocks or whatever?
What I would love to do is fight one more time. I wouldn't mind if it was in a field with no crowd there.
Why don't you go
I
into
just wanna-
the IBA or something with the other?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Is it just that?
I had a bleed on the brain a couple of years ago,
Did you? Okay.
where I was, being disrespectful to myself. I started becoming. I fell ill. I fell very seriously ill, and I got suicidal.
Right.
And I become a jumper.
Really?
I become a jumper. Yeah. I've got metal in my back, and
So at what point we didn't really cover the
hips.
point when you've
yeah.
the boxing's ended or the situation where you've got on. I don't know if you don't drink or drugs or if you got into any of that, but if you got into maybe a party scene or just
No, never a party scene. What I would do is I would what's the word?
Self-harm.
Self-destruct.
self-destruct.
Never
right?
self-harm. I'd self-destruct, and I would do it because what I would do is I want this pain to go away because I wasn't seeing a psychiatrist.
You want to numb it, yeah.
I want the numb, and what makes the numb? What makes you numb would be a bottle of alcohol, and I would like a bottle of whiskey. So
I've
I'd do a
seen that
bottle of
before.
whiskey, so then I can't feel nothing, and that's fine. I can't feel no pain now. So, but then when that whiskey wears off, you're even worse.
Yeah.
And so
No,
then-
because the whiskey makes you depressed as well, yeah.
Yeah. So then I would be like, oh no, I'm even worse. So then I would jump. Do you know
When
what
you
I
say
mean?
jump, what are you talking about? You
I'd jump
off
off.
a building?
I'd come off a roof or a window. Yeah.
How high up?
Anyway, as high as possible, really.
Why don't you just kill yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, have to go. Have to leave. I
It's
can't live.
powerful
I can't live
fucking-
with the silver medals, the runner-ups,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Vegas.
It's just eating you.
Floyd's got all that dough. It ain't really about dough. It just the memories of. You know, it's like Do you know what I felt? Like, have you heard of the term like a fish out of a bowl?
Yeah.
And you take a fish out of a bowl, he's got nowhere to go.
Don't know where to go, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He can only survive in water. I can only survive in boxing.
Yeah.
And when my boxing career finished, I got nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's partly due to you had bad management though, and coming out of your career you needed someone to prepare you
Yeah.
and gently ease you into another form of boxing career. You know what I mean? That's what you should have had.
And it wasn't. You didn't suffer before that with clinical depression. It was
No.
just the direct result
Wasn't
of
clinical.
what happened to you.
It was caused. Yeah.
By your experiences.
Yeah. It was.
It's a form of PTSD, isn't it?
Yeah. It is more than depression. Yeah, it's trauma. Do you know what I mean? To be that close to the prize.
Yeah.
To be fighting for the prize, to be within heart to the prize,
touching it,
to doing all the work for the prize,
Yeah.
and being told you can't have it. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I mean, you got to get ill, ain't you?
So your
otherwise you
boxing-
won't be human.
Your boxing career spanned from a child up
8
to
years of
like,
age.
So really, what?
8 to 32
Yeah, so you're looking at what 20
with no time off.
no time off. Yeah, so like 22, 24
Yeah.
years.
My only time off was a Sunday for a seafood buffet down the Bellagio. Yeah.
But in that time,
Yeah.
Jays, when you look back now, and
Yeah.
I hope this helps you in some
Yeah.
way, when you look back, the life you had in Vegas,
Amazing.
men would die to have done that.
Yeah.
It's certain that any real man,
Yeah.
Oh, they
for
love
you
it.
to have that
Yeah.
in the bag and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
rather than look at it as a negative,
Yeah.
people would still love to have that.
Oh,
Jays.
yes.
Yeah.
You've been still been a
Yeah.
you've been a hero
Yeah.
and a star, and the positivity
Yeah.
that you've shown through. Don't ever let that bring you down now.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? You've had the positivity's still there. Look at you, you're still fit.
I remember
you're
the
still
first
on the ball.
day that Floyd and me, he took me out for lunch. It was after training. And we'd been sparring several months. And they're building him up. And he had a bad hand now. He had a bad hand. Both his hands were brittle. And he's just born with that. You know what I mean? He don't punch major hard, but he had brittle hands. Do you know what I mean? And he throws too many punches on them pads and them bag, and he hits a lot, and so his hands are always damaged.
Right.
So he has to have time off. But he'd still pick me up, take me to the gym, stay down the gym, hang around in the gym, and he'd watch me spar, the others. And one day, he was so pleased with my sparring. I was sparring this fella. It was two fellas. Johnny Montanez, God rest his soul, he's dead now. And another guy, Buka, he was from Ghana. And they brought him over. He was fighting in Vegas. He was on some big show. He was an opponent. And I just boxed the life out of both of them. And then after that, Floyd said, he goes, I'm going to take you for lunch. And he took me to a place called Joe's Crab Shack. And we went there to this place, Joe's Crab Shack, because I always used to say I like seafood. I was telling them about the old Cockney ways and all that. Said about we like the old mussels, prawns and all that, and the whelks and all that. And he said, hey, you like seafood? You like seafood? He said, I'm going to take you to a special place. He took me to Joe's Crab Shack. See, he had compassion for me. That's why he used to take me to the Bellagio every Sunday for the seafood buffet. Because I like that. Do you know what I mean? And because I missed home. But we went to Joe's Crab Shack, and I'll never forget, this is the funniest story, and this will put a nice smile on us all at the end of a sad end, but the beginning of a new beginning. They give you these plastic bibs, aprons, to put over your head and tie around there, like. Big bucket, we had 2 metal buckets, right? And the old nutcrackers and all that, and the crab. Now, I'm thinking he's taking me for crab. I'm thinking it's all going to come out all dressed. Do you know what I mean? Or deep fried and all that. We're cracking crabs, we're breaking crabs' legs off. Well, what a state we was in and all that. And the funny thing of this is the point of the story is I'm going to say you're going to like this one. He'd never had it before himself. He'd never had crab. And he just turned round and he went, fuck it. Fuck this. He said, I'm going to order again. And he ordered fried chicken and chips. Yeah. That was the first time he took me for lunch. But it was a disaster. We had fucking, the crab juice all over us.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I'm going to order something else. I want fried chicken and chips. Yeah.
Have you ever been in touch again?
Yeah, loads of times, yeah. I ain't spoke to Floyd now. God, got to be 10 years.
Well, have you ever thought of trying to get back in touch with him?
Yeah, I have, but
why don't you?
I'm very stubborn. I don't want to be the one to reach out and tell him how dark it was for me. Do you know what I mean?
Did you not think that he would support you and because you've had that experience?
I know, I can tell you now. Floyd, you know this here. You know this is true. I'm the only person who's never put my hand out to reach for help to him.
But even just to say
I
friendship.
Won't want help. I don't need help. I'll help myself. And he knows, he's been here to London a few times and he's asked about me. And, it's like when Ricky Hatton went up north to spar Stevie Forbes, who I was sparring every day in Vegas. I went to a charity football event in Lakeside, Thurrock, with all the boxers. And I was getting ready for the Nigel Wright fight. The funny fight again, another funny, all funny fights, isn't it? The one at the end of the career, the last one, and that's why I couldn't play football, because if I'd got an injury, do you know what I mean? But and Ricky Hatton was getting ready for his fight with Floyd, and that's why he weren't playing. And I went up to him. You remember this, don't you, Ricky Hatton? See, you remember clearly now. I went up to him. I went up to Ricky Hatton at Lakeside Thurrock charity football event when you were getting ready to fight Floyd Mayweather, and I asked you, I said, do you want me to give you a hand? Do you want me to help you? You said, no, you had it covered because you're sparring Stevie Forbes. Don't worry about it. And look what happened to you. Do you know what I mean? And it just makes you go, do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm too good for all of them. That's all it boils down to.
Can I bring you back? What was the actual worst moment, the worst point of your descent? Was it the jumping stage? And how many
last time I jumped, yeah.
How many times did you do that?
3 times.
Really?
And a couple of ropes, but it never happens. I always I
Do
always
you pull out at the last minute?
No, never pull out. It just don't happen. It goes wrong. I end up in hospital though.
You're one of the world's most unsuccessful suicide.
Yeah. It's never happened.
But that is because it's not meant for you.
Thank you so much, Brendan.
It
It weren't meant for me. Yeah.
You're in pain.
Yeah.
You've been in pain,
Yeah.
but you're still.
Yeah.
Your pain is inspiration
Yeah.
for others. That's what you've got to remember.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now is your time to be.
You're not going to do it again, are you? You're not going to do it.
No. I feel so great for coming out of it,
Yeah, well done.
and now I can actually say I did enjoy the experience of being out of the experience.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it just makes you a stronger person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like I've had 50 world title fights in all different shapes and forms.
Yeah, mentally,
Do you know
physically.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe I've had to have these events in the form that they've come in
Yeah.
as a replacement to me winning gold medals
Yeah.
and winning world titles. Because at the end of the day, they say, don't they? I mean, a medal and a belt ain't going to save your life. It's only you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What's your message to people out there who are really suffering, who might feel that sort of
Talk.
mental distress?
Talk to people. Talk to people that will understand. Talk to people you should know already that if they're going to understand. Don't waste your breath talking to any old Tom, Dick and Harry. Try and work people out. Number one job in life is to be a people worker outer. Work people out. People say to me sometimes, what do you do? I go, I work people out. I work them out. I work them out in two ways. I work them out in the gym and I work them out upstairs. You've got to work people out and then talk to them. If you can work someone out, then you know they're good enough to listen. Then once they listen, you can let it all out and talk. Stay in the gym, get it around like-minded people. Talk to like-minded people.
The gym is a thing for mental health. It's
safe haven, Brendan.
It's the safe haven. I've been there myself, and I ain't a gym person, but I did go to the gym for 4 or 5 years every day just to keep myself mentally in a good place.
It don't matter what you're doing there, as long as you do a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Once you're in there, it's, you can just add that and build on it. Do you know what I mean?
You know, Brendan, I think he would be brilliant online, giving out advice and stuff like that, wouldn't he? You could do very well, have your own YouTube channel, talking to people in the centre, because you've got all that experience of life.
And the names of the boxing people there are so massive, and that's a genuine story. Right?
You look at Joe Egan, who had a whole career.
Made a career out of...
And I like Joe, he's a mate of mine.
Joe's a very entertaining... He turned his former boxing life into a storytelling situation, talking about Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? And he's very good at it, Joe. He should be someone like that. Is I would advise you to look at his the way he's gone forward, because you've got some terrific stories there.
See, I've always
Floyd is as big as Mike Tyson, and Joe's gone into films. He's as an actor and everything.
I've always been
people on the after dinner circuit, Jace. For the stories you've got there, and you are funny. You deliver it with a sense of humour,
Thanks very much.
which is what you have to do. But that on a after dinner speaking circuit, people would love to hear that. So you've definitely got a lot of stuff ahead of you. Just like you said, find your way, get a bit of guidance.
That's it. Yeah, it's been terrific to know that my stories is
very
entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Found somewhere in your mind and your heart. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And what you going to do now with yourself?
I'm going to carry on training. I've got a lot of people I train.
Are you at Noel's gym?
I go to Noel's gym sometimes. I mean, that's where I did all the prep work to get the licence back. So I ain't been in there and done any boxing training ever since then. It's sort of haunted me a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But because once they told me I couldn't have that licence back, I didn't need to go back in there. But then what I did do was I joined the David Lloyd gym in Chigwell down the road. So that's my replacement. So then that's my home club, even though I'm not from Essex. So that's my home club. So what I do is I still go over to Chigwell on Saturdays, and I have the David Lloyd down here in West London, Fulham and Acton, as me tick over. Do you know what I mean?
And how can I ask you, how is your relationship with your little girl and your wife through all that period of time? Is it all
brilliant?
So whatever ups and downs they've been there.
We've never fallen out. We've never we've never gone out, come out, been out of each other's lives. We're all in it together.
Yeah, wicked.
We've all done the journey together. I suppose people like to say, you know, the truth of it is, it's rougher for me, but I don't think so. I think if I'm good enough to fight, I'm good enough to bear the rough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been rough for them.
Of course it has, yeah.
Rough for me mum.
I felt your pain, believe me.
Yeah. Rough for me friends.
Yeah, your
Rough
friends.
for me mates that are buying all them tickets.
Anything that you want to say to your daughter?
I bet no one...
My daughter is the love of my life. She's my heart and soul. She's what keeps me going. She's what drives me. My beautiful daughter Kennedy. And my grandchildren, Otis and Ocean, are two beautiful little children. And her mother, Michelle, as well. So they've been there with me all the way. And my mum, lovely. Thank you very much.
Well done. And because I live in a ground floor flat, I'd be
Yeah.
happy you coming round.
All right,
I'd
then.
fucking if I was living on the 6th floor, there's no way I'd have you in my house.
Can we all